Despite the economic slowdown during the last year, the number of industrial robots installed around the world had reached a record high during last year. Almost it was more than 500,000 robots have been installed around the world, making the total industrial robot around the world reached almost 4 million robots around factories around the world. So where are those robots are installed? Let's look at the report. Hello everyone, this is Ayman Omar. I'm a robotic researcher based in Tokyo, Japan. The International Federation of Robotics have released their latest report of the number of installation of industrial robots around the world. So according to their latest data, during last year, they were around 553,000 units have been installed in factories around the world, making the total number of industrial robots to reach almost 3,904,000 robots around the world. So almost this is considered to be the highest record from almost the last few years. So this is the highest number of installation around the world. Even though there is the economic slowdown that had been going on almost after COVID, there have been some recovery, but actually last year it seemed that there is a economic slowdown, but actually the number of installation of industrial robot actually have been increasing. So the market actually of industrial robot, this shows that there is a great demand for the industrial robot to be installed in factories, and the trend actually is going toward like more automation and more like using of industrial robot in many industries. So according to the data, it shows that actually that the sectors that are using the robot, actually the highest one now is electronics. It shows a record high by increasing of 10% from last year. So last year there was almost 157,000 the robot had been installed in electronics factories in this sector. Compared to last year, it was 143. So there's a high increase. Like for automotive, coming in the second with 136, almost had been increased by 16% compared to the year before, which is 117. And metal and machinery come in third, but actually they have been a little bit of decrease by 3%. Then came plastic and chemicals, almost also there is a decrease by 6%. For the bridge also there was a decrease. So we have seen that most of the industrial robots actually have been gone to the electrical electronics and also automotive industry. So those are the biggest consumer and biggest user of the industrial robot. So looking at the country, just like last year, most of China is the biggest installer of industrial robot, with almost 290,000 robots have been installed in China during the last year, have been increased by 5% compared to the year before. But the most interesting thing that actually China now is taking almost more than half of the robot have been installed. So almost 52% of the industrial robot have been installed last year has been installed in China alone. So China is taking robots more than any other countries, the total countries around the world combined. So followed by Japan, by like 50,000 robots have been installed in Japan. Almost there also is an increase by 9%. Then followed by United States with 39,000. Also there is an increase. South Korea almost 31. There was not that much of increase. Germany 25. There have been a little bit of a decrease between the year before. Then came Italy, Taiwan, then France, and so other countries. But there are small quantities. So mostly China is the biggest user and biggest installer of industrial robot, followed by Japan. And we can see that almost the highest installer actually in East Asia, mainly like China, Japan, and South Korea. Those are the biggest user of industrial robot. Almost like 73% of the installation happen in Asia, then followed by 15% in Europe and 10% in the Americas. So almost most of the industrial robot actually have been concentrated more mainly in Asia, more than Europe and also like America. So actually, if you want to look at the industrial sector of China, that the one that are using industrial robot, actually electric and electronics are the biggest user. So almost 100,000 units have gone to the electric and electronics factories, followed by automotive, which is 73,000 units have gone to the automotive industry. So those are the biggest users. The electric and electronics is the highest user, and followed by automotive. Also the same, also similar to Japan, almost the biggest user also is electric and electronics. So almost more than 18,000 units have went to the electric and electronics. Then followed also by the automotive, around more than 12,000 units. Then metal and machinery. So mostly like in Asia, so electric and electronics, then automotive, those are the biggest user of industrial robot. But if we look at the United States, we will find that actually the biggest user is automotive. So there have been a huge increase in the sector of automotive, almost like 47% increase from the year before. So it has jumped from 9,000 units to 14,000 units. Almost went to the automotive industries, then followed by metal and machinery, and then came electronics. So in the United States, most of the robot users are automotive industry, because mostly like electronics are concentrated more in Asia. So most of the electronics industries are mainly concentrated in Asia. But the US actually mostly they are focusing more on using robots in the automotive industry. Yes, South Korea is almost similar like to China and Japan. Also, the biggest user is electric and electronics, and the second user is automotive. So mostly Asia are mostly concentrated in the electric and electronics, but the US and also Germany, the biggest user is also automotive, and then metal and machinery. So the Asian countries actually like they are mostly the biggest electronics manufacturer, and especially we know that China is like exporting a lot of electronics goods to all countries around the world. So that's why like we can see most of the industrial robots are mainly going to the electric and electronics in Asia, but it's different when we compare it to Europe and America. Looking at the collaborative robot, of course, like collaborative robots now are new type of technology, and it's seen a lot of like implementation into the industry. So it's still like it's a very small percentage. Like last year, there was 55,000 units out, like compared to the 498,000 units from the traditional robot. This all went to the industry. So it's small percentage, but actually the data shows that there are been increased in the installation of a collaborative robot. So like in the year 2020, there was 26,000 units, but actually it had been increased to 42,000 units in the year 2021. And last year, there was almost 55,000. So we can see that there is a lot of increase and implementation of collaborative robot into the industries. So the general trend of the industrial robot implementation, it shows that actually that there's a huge demand for robot implementation into the production line. Mostly like supply chain now are like mostly like they are trying to localize. They want to improve the production, especially like speeding, accuracy, quality. And robot considered to be one of the effective technology being used to improve like and to make those benefit from like fast production, like higher accuracy, and also high quality of goods. So even though that the global economy growth is actually slowing down, but actually the demand for robots actually are increasing. So it seems that this market is going to increase, and there will be a lot of demand for robot technology in the coming years.
倉庫内作業がオフィスワークへと移行し、倉庫内作業をすべて無人化できたらなと考えております。 このプログレス1に活用する AI 搭載のロボットと遠隔操作プラットフォームにつきましては、引き続き自社開発を進めてまいりますが、様々な対象物に対応できる。
And also, like with the implementation of new technologies such as like AI, Internet of Things, actually, it makes robots more like demanding into new type of task inside factories. Because now you can even like use robots in new type of like application not have been used before, especially like in the past we used to have robots mainly for like tasks like welding or maybe painting or maybe handling very big materials, but now actually it's been like used for some kind of very specific, very different tasks like identifying objects, and also like how to maybe for inspection of the quality of the goods. So robots, we have shown that it's very effective in those kind of things. And also like the production, the use of AI now, actually production line actually can increase, and especially like car production, you can have like one assembly line, but you can have different cars model being produced in the same assembly line. Because in the past you have to produce almost the same model, the same car, but now you can produce different type of cars in the same production line. And this all with the help of this kind of new technology of AI and with integration of robotics, and also like using also of Internet of Things. Now we can have new type of development in the industrial application. I hope you have benefit from today's talk. Until I see you again, thank you for watching.